Chicago, the warehouse, the birthplace of house. New York's legendary clubs became sanctuaries for people seeking something more than just music. It was a place where barriers came down, race, gender and sexuality were all set aside as the rhythm carried everyone on the same journey. Pioneers like Frankie Knuckles, Marshall Jefferson and Larry Levan shaped the sound of house music, transforming it from a genre to a movement. These legends pushed the boundaries of sound and in doing so gave voice to the voiceless and a space for those who needed it the most. House music wasn't just about making people move, it was about bringing people together, creating a universal language. The dance floor became a place of connection, and as an artist, it's something I've always resonated with. House music has been a huge influence on my sound, and it's more than just the rhythm. It's the emotion, the spirit, the energy that keeps you connected. Every track I create is a homage to that freedom and unity. It's about the groove that never stops and the community that surrounds it. So when I'm behind the decks, it's not just about the music. It's about continuing that legacy. It's about what house music means to all of us. It's more than beats, it's a movement, it's a feeling, and it will always be a part of who I am. Before house, there was disco. Before DJs ruled the underground, soul and funk laid the foundation. And before the world caught on, Chicago was the heartbeat of a revolution. In the late 70s and early 80s, a new sound was brewing in the Chicago underground scene. Deep bass lines, hypnotic grooves, and endless energy. At the centre of it all, the legendary Frankie Knuckles, the godfather of house, whose sets at the warehouse shaped the future of dance music. Fast forward to today, and house music is still evolving. And speaking of evolution, I've got something special dropping very soon. Let's Dance, my upcoming release, pays homage to the roots of house while bringing a fresh modern twist. So stay tuned. House music didn't just appear, it was created. And if we're talking about its birthplace, we have to go back to Chicago in the late 1970s. And there was one club that stood out in particular. It was the Warehouse, founded by Robert Williams. It wasn't just a club, it was a movement. And at the centre of the club, there was one man that would change everything. His name was Frankie Knuckles. Frankie took inspiration from disco, funk and soul, but made it deeper and darker. Instead of just playing records, he remixed them on the spot, looping beats, layering drum machines and stretching songs into hypnotic late-night grooves. His sets at the Warehouse became legendary, and the music, it wasn't quite disco anymore. It was something new, something raw, and that sound would become house music. Unlike disco, house music wasn't polished for the radio. It was underground, built for the people, driven by the DJs and vinyl culture. Frankie and other pioneers embraced drum machines and synthesizers, creating beats that pushed dancers into a trance-like state. House music wasn't just about songs, it was about the journey. And from Chicago, house spread worldwide, shaping electronic music as we know it today. But it all started with one club, one DJ, and a passion for the dance floor. House music started in Chicago, but by the late 80s and early 90s, house music had spread to the clubs worldwide. But it wasn't just about the DJs, it was about the tracks. These records became anthems, and they shaped the sound of house music and inspired everything that came after. First up, Move Your Body by Marshall Jefferson. This track, released in 1986, was one of the first to feature a full piano melody, something that would become a signature in house music. It was so influential that people called it the house music anthem. And honestly, they weren't wrong. Then came Can You Feel It by Mr. Fingers. This one took house much deeper, but with its smooth synths and atmospheric vibe, it helped shape the deep house sound that is still massive today. And you can't talk about house without mentioning French Kiss by Lil Louise. Released in 1989, this track stood out for its slow, down-tempo drop, something unheard of at the time. It was hypnotic, sensual, and completely unique, paving the way for the more experimental side of house. As house music grew, it evolved into new subgenres. Tracks like Your Love by Frankie Knuckles and Jamie Principle brought a raw, emotional energy that inspired vocal house. Meanwhile, harder-hitting beats in tracks like Energy Flash by Joey Beltram helped birth techno and acid house. These records weren't just songs, they were blueprints for the future. They shaped the house sound and gave rise to deep house, tech house, progressive house, and so much more. Even today, you can hear their influence in clubs, festivals, and underground scenes across the world. House music wasn't just a Chicago thing, it was a global movement. What started in the underground clubs in the early 80s in Chicago quickly spread to New York, then across the Atlantic to the UK and Europe, where house music exploded into something even bigger. After Chicago, house music found a second home in New York City. Clubs like Paradise Garage, with legends like Larry Levan, pushed the sound forward, blending house with garage and disco to create something soulful and deep. But the real explosion happened when house music hit the UK. By the late 80s, British DJs had packed up on the Chicago sound, and something wild happened. Acid house was born. Inspired by tracks like Acid Tracks by Future, acid house took things to another level with hypnotic, squelchy 303 bass lines and trippy beats. So it was the sound of the Roland 303 that fueled acid house and the rebellious movement we know as the underground rave scene. In the late 80s, acid house took the UK by storm. Clubs like Shoom and the Hacienda became legendary, and DJs like DJ Pierre and groups like Future introduced the world to a sound that defined a generation. Even today, the rave energy of acid house lives on in modern sounds. And with acid house came the rave revolution. The UK underground scene took house music out of the clubs and into warehouses, fields, and abandoned spaces, creating a culture that changed music forever. The energy was raw, the parties were legendary, and house music officially belonged to the world. From Chicago to New York, London to Berlin, house music has never stopped evolving. And today, that same underground energy still drives the scene. So the UK rave culture wasn't just about music, it was a revolution. People from all walks of life came together in the UK, and it moved to Berlin, it moved to the US and beyond. And it gave birth to music festivals and the raves that we know today. So every time you go to a festival, a rave, anything like that, you are part of this same energy that has been kept alive since the acid house movement. Put in the comments below, what is your favourite rave you've been to so far? House music never stops evolving. Today we've got all sorts of genres that came from the original house movement. Now we've got funky house, deep house, tech house, progressive house, bass house, future house, and everything in between. There's so many I can't care to mention. So in the comments below, comment what's your favourite house music genre. This is my love letter to the rave scene. We've come full circle from the origins of house to where it is today, and I'm so proud of this journey, and I can't wait for you to hear my next track, Let's Dance, a track that brings it all together. Let's keep the dance floor alive. Watch the trailer here. And I really hope you enjoy my next track.